We get tort reform in 2004. Well, it's been 22 years since then. And guess what? Our insurance premiums are still the highest in the country, but the payouts are less. So who made the money here?
Atomic Souls Podcast.
I went over to personal injury, and I think it spoke to me more because of my personal experiences. I lost a fiancée to medical malpractice, and when I was 9, we were hit by a drunk driver. So I'd had some experience, experiencing injuries and loss, the types that my clients now experience. So I think that resonates with me and how I communicate with clients.
Yeah. You've been there. You understand.
Yeah.
And were those experiences handled well, in your opinion, by the support that y'all got?
Kind of two different experiences. So with my fiance passing, that was a medical malpractice claim, and she passed the day after tort reform went into effect in Texas in 2004. And
what is that for those of us who don't know?
Sorry.
Not an attorney.
I'm a layperson.
So a tort is a civil wrong other than breach of contract for which the law provides a remedy. So that's your negligence claims, your malpractice claims, your recklessness claims. And tort reform is a name that's been given by the insurance companies, their lobbyists, to rein in the ability of people to sue for their injuries, for their tort claims.
Yeah.
The founders of the U.S. thought it was so important that everybody have a right to access the courts. We have the 7th Amendment that says that you have a right to a jury trial for any controversy in excess of $20.
Yeah.
That number doesn't get updated with time.
$20. What would that have been when they wrote it?
That is today.
It's $20 today.
That's a lawyer
It's
answer.
hysterical.
That's exactly what it is. What the document says.
It doesn't get updated. And so anytime you have a controversy over 20, you should have a right to a jury. And so what the lobbyists for the insurance companies have done is they've taken a two-pronged approach. They go into the legislatures and try to find every little slice and cut they can against our claims, make it harder to prove. So what they did with medical malpractice tort reform was they said, okay, well, before you can file a lawsuit, you have to find an expert. And in practice, I'll tell you, it's usually 2 experts to say that what the doctors did was negligent, meaning that they fell below the standard of care of a reasonable, ordinary, prudent doctor, and that negligence caused harm, caused the injuries.
Yeah.
And then what they did on the second side of it is they capped the damages that you could recover. So this is where the phrase "better to kill than to maim" comes from.
Yeah.
It is less exposure if one of my clients dies versus they live, because there's a cap on medical malpractice claims at $250,000 for non-economic damages.
Wow.
That's just not a lot of money.
Right.
I mean, people spend $10 million for a banana taped to a poster board.
That's crazy. Yeah.
But a life has a cap at $250,000.
But if you're injured, you get more money than if you're
You
dead.
could, if you needed if you needed
Based on medical
care
expense,
the rest of your life and stuff, if you had lost wages, then absolutely you could get that for the rest of your life. So you still see some the viable medical malpractice claims that you see now are like birth injuries, where a child sustains a brain injury because of a malpractice involved in the birth. You see those claims still a lot. But what that tort reform did in 2004 is it made it very difficult from a business model for lawyers to be able to take on those cases. And, unfortunately in Texas, you're not allowed to recover attorney fees spent in suing a doctor who commits malpractice.
Interesting.
That has to be paid out, and it's not recoverable by the plaintiff. So there's no viable model to litigate those cases.
You could essentially spend $250,000 pursuing it.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they require you to hire experts and then limit how much you can recover,
Right.
they're increasing your cost and decreasing your recovery in order to kill the viability. And the argument for that tort reform was our doctors in Texas, and this was in 2003 when they were, trying to get everybody to vote for it. Our doctors in Texas pay among the highest medical malpractice premiums in the country. We're losing doctors. Doctors don't want to work here because the evil plaintiff lawyers are suing us and making all this money off of us. Well,
You're killing
How
people.
dare. Yeah.
and then we get tort reform in 2004. Well, it's been 22 years since then. And guess what? Our insurance premiums are still the highest in the country,
Right.
but the payouts are less. So who made the money here?
Yeah.
The insurance companies. They're bringing in the high premiums. They're paying out a lot less money.
Yeah.
They never intended to go down on the rates, but that was the second prong. I said there was two prongs that they have. That one is to go to the legislatures and change the rules to make it harder. The second is to create a public campaign against lawsuits and frivolous lawsuits and plaintiffs' lawyers and greedy lawyers. Like there's just this theme that they play out, and that's seen certainly very prevalently with the McDonald's hot coffee case.
That was a crazy one.
It's one of the things, and see, you say it's a crazy one because you know the facts that the insurance company told you about it.
That's true.
There's some really good documentaries about it. I don't know if you've seen them or not.
I watched one thing. I don't know if it was on Netflix or YouTube. It was probably about an hour and a half long talking about it. Again, I absolutely believe media can be manipulated,
Insurance propaganda.
but coffee is hot.
Right.
Like, you shouldn't have to tell me that coffee
Right.
is hot.
Yeah, so
Their coffee is very hot, though.
Well, and they got sued for that.
but the case wasn't really just about that. And I think a lot of people have the idea that this lady that got $3 million for this coffee burn was, driving, put the coffee between her legs, drove off, and it spilled on her, and that's how she got burned.
That was my understanding, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the way it was presented.
Yeah, and that's not the case at all. What happened is a family member of hers, maybe a nephew or somebody, was driving. They pulled over into a parking spot and were parked in the parking lot at McDonald's when her coffee spilled on her. And it caused third-degree burns requiring skin grafts on, between her legs. And they had initially offered to settle with McDonald's. I forget what the settlement amount was. Like her medical bills were like $50,000 or something.
Yeah.
And the only reason the jury came back with as much money as they did is because the McDonald's executives, when they got in the stand, they were almost like laughing at her and her claim and how frivolous it was. And it really frustrated the jury.
Yeah.
And the jury ended up awarding the amount of money that McDonald's makes in one morning selling coffee.
Wow.
That was how they determined how they could wake McDonald's up to that problem.
Where do you think in
Yeah.
that situation, though, that liability no longer exists on McDonald's? Because I'm trying to understand how that would work, because McDonald's is no longer associated with the scenario. You've driven off from the drive-through window. That's on you at that point, I would think. Obviously, that's not the case.
So I didn't litigate that case. I don't know all the facts on it, but my understanding on why McDonald's was ultimately held liable in that particular incident was because that specific McDonald's had been previously told that their coffee was too damn hot. And I don't know how you would get this data. I don't. The lawyer that had that case did an amazing job, but somehow they actually had testing of the temperatures of the coffee at that particular McDonald's, and it was lethally hot, like really,
third degree is
really hot.
That's wild.
I've actually myself had, I know at least one hot coffee case that I was able to make a recovery on